All right, well, good morning or good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are logging in from. Welcome to our very special Aplos webinar. Today we are going to talk to you about a brand new feature we have in Aplos called event registration. We are super excited about this brand new feature. So if you are logging in, you're one of the very first to get a true live demo of this exciting new product. And so we're super excited, and we're going to be sharing that with you. My name is Dan Kimball. I'm a product specialist here at Aplos, and with me is Jane Fawcett. And Jane is going to jump on here in a few and be showing you some more specifics about that event registration feature. So, but just to kind of get started, just a few housekeeping things we want to do. The first thing is just want to make sure that everyone's technology is working. So if you could just type in the question box and let us know that you can both see my screen and hear my voice. I almost said it the other way around. So good, great. Welcome, Julie. Hi, Doug. Doug has been on our webinars before. It's nice to have you back. Good. Very cool. All right, good. Looks like a lot of you jumped on. You can see and hear, so that's always good news. Also, before we get going, I just want to kind of get a sense of who's out there and a little bit about yourself. So we're going to launch a couple quick polls, and just a way for you to participate and let us know what's going on. So just kind of want to know quickly. You can see on your screen. Just let us know if you are one of the following. If you are currently doing a 15-day free trial with Aplos, if you are a paid subscriber, or if you're just checking us out for the first time. Maybe you heard about events, or maybe you were really bored today and you thought, oh, what can I do? I'm going to go on a webinar with Aplos. You can do that. So we'll just do this for a few seconds. Looks like the majority of you guys are paid, so we're just going to go ahead and close that down here in just a few more seconds. Looking good. All right, let's close that in case you guys are curious. Want to welcome you if you are just checking us out. We're super excited to have you as part of Aplos. Good. All right, we're going to do another one here really quick. Just kind of want to know what kind of events possibly you guys do, or what events are you looking to do in Aplos potentially? Are you looking to manage paid events and tickets, do registration signups, maybe something with no payments, volunteer signups, or all of the above? Do this for just a few more seconds. Cool. All right, we're going to close this down now. Thank you for participating. Unfortunately, there's no prizes. Go ahead and share the results with you guys. So it looks like a lot of you guys are interested in several of the features, both managing paid events as well as doing some sign up type of events or volunteer. So very good. And this will be the last one. We'll do one more poll, and then we'll get going into event registration. We'd like to know about how many events do you do a year? Probably more specifically, like an event would define as something you would need a tool like this for. Very good. Okay, we'll do this just for a few more seconds, and then we'll dive right in. Oops. Okay, there we go. I'm going to share the results with you guys, and so a little bit across the board. So 6 to 10 seems to, 1 to 5 seems to be the top. So very good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this down. And as I said, we are going to kind of get kind of jumping right in. Just again, if you are have been with Aplos for any amount of time, you know that we've made some very, very exciting changes of recently. You kind of look up here right at the top. You know that we changed our navigation area from a left navigation to a top. We had some folks that were fine with it. We had some folks that kind of freaked out, and now they're happy campers. One of the reasons we did that is some things that we are super excited about as a company and as Aplos, is to let you know is some of the things that a lot of nonprofits, churches, and ministries have had to do in order to be successful, is to have like 4 or 5 different pieces of software, or sometimes different subscriptions. And one of the directions we've gone as a company is we are trying to give you as many tools in one place. Kind of imagine your nonprofit, church, or ministry like you need this toolbox. and you need different tools for your to run those successfully. You need to do accounting, you need to manage your donors, you need to take online donations, you need to communicate by email, and many times you have to get different subscriptions for that. And we're really excited that as we've grown as a company, we've been able to offer more and more of those tools for you without having to leave or go to another software, or for those softwares to all have to kind of play nicely and talk to each other. So for those of you who get a little maybe a little frazzled about the changes, please know we're trying to do more and more for you to help you be more successful. So with that, we want to introduce to you our newest and I think it's something we're really excited about, which is called events. The idea with events, obviously, you can do registrations and tickets. Again, Aplos, for those of you who don't remember, is Greek for simple. So hopefully you'll find this to be a very simple process so you can, within just a short amount of time, have an event up and going and sell tickets. So with that, I'm going to actually stop talking, and I'm going to give the mic over to Jane, who's going to jump right in from here.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks everybody again for joining us. We're excited that you're here so that we can show you this cool tool that we have available for you. So I'm just going to show you around the events module and show you a couple different events that we've created, and then walk you through quickly how you can create an event. And then Dan will take it from there to show you then, now you have an event, now what do I do with it? So to get to your events module, you're going to click donations and then events. So here are a couple events that we have in the hopper. These are upcoming events. If you had any events that are done, you'll see them in the past events section. So we have one event for a golf fundraiser, and then another that is a free event, just an appreciation event for any donors or sponsors. So let me show you around those really quick, show you what they look like, and then we'll build one together. So here's one that Dan created. It's a donor and sponsors appreciation event. It is live, you'll see that. And then we have our number of seats sold and available tickets. So again, this is a free event, so you can set up a ticket that is free. You're going to first start on the details. When is it? When can people register? Where's the location? All of that here. And then next you'll jump into tickets. It's a free event. Someone's already registered, so this is locked down. You can't make any changes. And then payments, what ways they can pay, and then you'll publish your form. So just to show you what Dan's event looks like online, someone can go to this page, say how many people they're going to be bringing. They can bring up to 10 and then walk through this registration. So Anna's going to be at Big Bad Bubba's barbecue house, so who wouldn't want to go? So that's one of them. And then I created one just quickly that was a golf fundraiser. So a lot of nonprofits, they do big fundraisers every year to bring in money, a lot of money, and some people do golf fundraisers. So I thought, hey, why not? Let's create one. So here's our 14th annual golf fundraiser. Yes, we have been doing it for 14 consecutive years. That is no lie. So here is the date of the event. It runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on October 6th. People can sign up from September 1st to the 29th. I have 60 people who can attend. And then here's my event. I have an image. And then these are the details that people will see on my page. So let's jump over to see what it looks like live. Here it is here. I did different ticket types. So I designated whether they wanted the chicken dinner or the beef dinner. I have an early bird ticket that's a little bit cheaper than a ticket that is purchased after the 15th, so they get a little bit of a discount there. So they can sign up and attend my event. Let me show you one thing about tickets for this fundraiser. So looking at the ticket here, for my early bird beef dinner, I have a ticket quality of 25, but I have 4 seats available per ticket. So what that's saying is when I purchase 1 ticket, I'm signing up for a foursome to come with me. So that is how the quantity of tickets versus seats work. And then I only want people to be able to sign up for 1 foursome at a time, so they can purchase 1 ticket per registration. And then here is when that ticket is live. So that's till the 15th. When the 15th is over, now they're paying full price. So that ticket starts the 16th to the cutoff of the 29th. So that's just a quick overview of the 2 events that we've created. Now I was thinking, why don't we create one together? So you'll see this plus button here. You'll go ahead and click that, and that jumps you into the details page, which will look familiar because we've been on this page before. So let's say you want to throw a fall fundraiser for your nonprofit. So this is going to be an internal event name. This is only what you see. So is this description. Our fall fundraiser. So you can choose your time zone here. This will default to the time zone set in your user profile, which is located up here in my profile. If that needs to be changed for any reason, like if this is the wrong time zone for your profile, you can always change it here. So you can change this this time zone here. We have a lot of different options, but we're in Pacific time, so we're going to leave it there. I'm going to say that the event is October 27th, and we're going to run that from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There we go. So this is the date of my event. Sorry, I chose the wrong date here and time, the 27th at 8 p.m. So my event is on the 27th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now this registration open and close date, these are when tickets can be purchased, or if you have a free event, when people can register. So basically the block of time that's available for people to sign up for your event. So let's say I want them to be able to start signing up on the 29th of September, and then they can sign up until the day before our event. So it'll default to 12 a.m. You can always change these times. You'll see the times are available here on the right-hand column. So number of seats, this is my capacity. So if my building holds 100, let's say I have 100 people who can attend my event. You can put your cancellation policy here. Let's say no refunds. Whoop. There we go. In Dan's, I don't know if you noticed before, but it said like, please email Dan Kimball to let me know you're canceling. So you can put that there as well. The location here is required. So you'll go ahead and put in your location name. So let's say Aplos Club. Throwing it at the Aplos Country Club there. Address. All right, country is optional. You don't have to record that. But here you're going to place a placeholder image. The best optimal size is 600 by 250. So to add your image, you're going to click it. It's going to say there's nothing yet. So I'm going to select an image. You can upload a new image here, or you're also going to have your images from your file box. So I'm going to click that one. It's going to say, here's the image you chose, and I'm going to click apply. So there's a nice fall decor picture for you. Now headline. This is what your registrants are going to see. So I'm just going to keep it basic, and I'm going to say, please join us for this year's fall fundraiser. Bring your friends and we'll all have fun. Here I can share my Facebook, my Google+, my Twitter account, or my Instagram. Those will show at the bottom of your registration form. I'm going to save and continue to move on to adding tickets. So let's say I want to add a free ticket for volunteers. So I have people who are coming to help me set up, and I want to say thank you by letting them attend for free. So they would sign up for a volunteer ticket. I'm going to say there's 25 of these available, 1 seat. So each person purchasing a ticket will be for 1 individual. And then I'm going to display how many I have left, and collecting information per seat. If I were to purchase more than 1 ticket, then it would prompt me to fill out however many tickets I purchased. If I purchased 2, then it's going to have me fill out the attendee information for those. Now here's the availability of the ticket. So you can change these. So like if you had an early bird ticket, it would be maybe the first half of the time that the registration is open. So you can designate that here. And then you can also say what you want to collect per person. So if I want their first name, last name, email address, you'll just toggle these and you'll see that they show up top. So I can save and add to go to add another ticket, or save and close to be done. I'm going to go ahead and click add ticket, and I'm going to go to a paid ticket. So let's say, all right, these are regular tickets. I have 75 available, display remaining, 1 person per. Now on these paid tickets, you have the ability to say per registration, people can only purchase a maximum of 4 tickets at a time, or however many you want to say. So you'll go ahead and say what the max ticket amount that can be purchased per registration, and then you can select a purpose here. These are for paid tickets. So what we'll be getting to, just kind of a broad stroke of events. This is our first launch. We're going to be continually adding functionality for this. So right now, things are not tracked on the donation or accounting side, but they will be. So when you choose a purpose here, eventually it's going to get to the point where someone signs up, and then from there, as soon as they sign up, a donation is going to be recorded for them. It's going to be tracked in your accounting. So on that note, you have the amount of the ticket, but then you have this fair market value price that you can put here. So let's say they purchase a ticket for $25, but the cost that you spend for them to attend the event, let's say it's dinner, and that dinner costs $12, then let's say 10 for easy math, then they will get a donation receipt for $15, because that is the amount after the fair market value. So the $10 will be non-tax deductible, but 15 of it will be tax deductible. So that's how you can designate that, and we'll get to the point where everything just flows into the donation side, into the accounting side, and you really don't have to do much except share your event. So I'm going to click add price. So that adds it for me there, and then I can again collect information here. So here are my 2 tickets available. One is free for my volunteers, and the other 75 are paid. For the payment side, you can allow payment by ACH, by credit card. You can let people pay later by check, or you can allow them to pay their transaction fee. So if they're paying ACH or credit card, there is a transaction fee to process. So they can pay a little bit more to cover that for you. We're going to do pay at door for now. Save and continue. So here I can review my event before I publish it, which we're going to do. All right, here's our cute little fall fundraiser sign up form. You'll see it's not currently published. Here's the fall fundraiser, the date, the location, and tickets there. So you can go ahead and publish it, and that will make your URL live. A couple things to note on this page is the actions. So you can edit your registration form, you can view it, view the page, you can view the registrations, the attendee, get the URL, or delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Dan, and he's going to say, now that we have an event, what do we do with it?
Cool. Like Jane said, this is a brand new product. We are super excited about it. We think it's got a lot of great features already, but we are going to be adding some features, and we are going to really rely on you guys as the users to give us some feedback. Let us know what's happening. One kind of immediate observation or comment you might want to know is that we are using ticket and registration interchangeably right now. And so that is something that might change down the road, but just think if you're just somebody that's saying, hey, look, I'm really not interested in selling anything, I just want to sign up. For example, we had a customer call the other day and said, hey, I'm just going to do some women's Bible studies on every Tuesday or something like that. Completely fine. Just kind of, work with us and get to know the language a little bit, and we'll see kind of how that changes. Also, just let you know, we are going to do a bunch of Q&A here at the end. So if you have a question, feel free to type that in at any time, and we'll get through those here in a little bit. So don't feel like we're ignoring you. I know that some of you have already asked great questions. And by the way, Julia, I'm glad you love the top navigation. We do too. So we'll jump into some questions here in a few. But like Jane said, what's going to happen from here is a lot of people, some of this might seem obvious, but it's kind of like, okay, so I have these great events. Now what do I do with them? Probably one of the more powerful features in this at this point is going to be that URL. So if you go back into your event, so let's go to my donor appreciation event, and I click the edit, and what you can do is you can grab this URL and just copy it, and you go, here's your URL. I'm going to go from here. Once I copy this, then I have a lot of, I can, from there you can copy this onto, again, your organization's Facebook page or social media page. You can also use this to promote it in the other ways in which you're communicating to your donors. So that's a real powerful tool in itself. Also within Aplos, like I said at the beginning, we have a lot of tools for you, such as our online donation page. So for example, you could create, if you're utilizing our online donation form, so let's go to our forms. You could add, for example, let's say you had a general form for your organization. You could edit that form and say, hey, by the way, we have an upcoming event. And then you could, in that form, put that link. Or you could actually create an online donation form for that event. So let's say, for example, you wanted to get some more detail that you can't get on the ticket information, or maybe you wanted to tell a story, like a story about a child in your organization that would benefited from the donors for that donor event. You go right up here, you go online donation form, you create a new form. As many of you probably already know this, but then from right in here, you can then create the form. You could not have to necessarily use the donation pieces here, but then just add the URL that we linked into that form. So that's another great way to do it. Of course, we also have the ability to do email campaigns. So if you go right here to marketing and you go to emails, and you go to email campaign, what you could do is you could quickly create a new email. You could name it for that new event. And then you could send this email to a list of people within your organization. Again, a lot of powerful features right there within that email. Then you could drop that link. So that would be another way to do it. You could drop this link in a letter as well. Maybe you're sending out letters. We are big believers in what we call multi-channel marketing, meaning that not all your donors receive communications the same way. So maybe with some of your older donors, you want to send letters. Your newer donors, younger, you want to send emails. You want to cross-promote your events in as many ways as possible. The exciting thing is all of this you can do right here within Aplos by using the tools that we already have for you. Another thought or idea, those of you who are getting to know some of the new features know that we have this really cool feature called lists. Within lists, what you can start to do is you can start to build a list based off the people who are coming to those events. For example, if I go right here to create a new list and I create a dynamic list and I find the event attendee area, which is going to be right, attended event, you go right there, and I name the event, such as my donor appreciation event, and I go preview. Right here are the people who've so far signed up for my event. So let's say a week goes by and I end up getting about 15 of these. What I can do, now we're going to go back to that, whoops, I'm working on Jane's computer. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to find this one called Donor Appreciation Event. Let's see if I save this one or not. Oh, right there. So I'm going to go to this donor event right here. Okay, so let's say we're about a week away from the event. And I want to send a specific email to everyone who's signed up. What I can do is I can go right here. I can click this. I can hit actions and I can go send email. And what I've done is I pre-created an email campaign for the donor event. There it is right there. And then I can go to Campaign Manager. And then what will happen is this will send an email to everybody who signed up by name. So it'll say, Dear Aaron, Dear Jane, Dear Maritza, everybody who's signed up. And then I have an email campaign, which I'll show you, already ready to go. So let me show you what this looks like right here. Oops, how do I preview it from there?
Is it already sent?
No.
Go to your template.
There it is. Sorry about that. So here's the email that I sent, or that's ready to go. And then everybody that signed up for my event, you can send them a week ahead of time or whatever kind of thing. So all this kind of to say that there's a lot of different tools you can do within Aplos once you create this event and promote, cross promote. And then the other exciting thing is that you can also create groups. So for example, you could grab, you could use in List Designer, you could grab everyone that attended that event. You could save them as their own list so that down the road you could do a thank you, you could do a follow-up, and you can invite those people for next year. So this List Designer, if you don't know it yet, is going to actually become a really powerful feature for you to utilize your event. So they are all going to really live together and play together really nicely. So those are just some other thoughts from there. I can't think of anything else on that. So I think at this point what we're going to do is go ahead and break into some Q&A and see what you guys questions. Did we forget anything, Jane, at this point?
We're good.
All right, so let's go ahead and see what questions you guys have. Okay.
Lots.
All right, so top navigation was hoping there would be an online event sign up. Hoping there would be an online event sign up.
Hopefully that
Yeah, Julie, I'm not sure what you mean by hoping there would be an online event sign up, so would like to get some more clarification on that. Does the event page link to our personal websites?
It will if you share the URL on your website. So you would have to grab that URL and add it to your website. I think eventually we will get to a point where, kind of like how donation forms are, you can add those to your website and have an actual form. I think we'll get there someday, but right now it's just adding that URL to your website. Good question, Tammy.
The question is for the rest of you, is there a tab where all the registration info is stored, more like a CRM system?
Yeah, once people sign up for your event, they'll be added as a contact if they don't already exist. So you'll also see that on the events page, you mind clicking in there, Dan,
Sure.
that we can export the registrations to have those in a list, but everyone will be added into your contact list, so that people tab.
Oops,
and
sorry.
then you'll have all of their information there. So hopefully that's what you're looking for. So here's where you can view or export those attendees. So if I went into view registrations, then I can export from here. But they will go into your people tab too. So great question.
Is there a way to show a map of ticket locations, like for a concert, to show what areas the different prices are for? I would say currently, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Currently not, but that's actually an excellent suggestion that we'll go with. we also have people asking, can people, in a sense, pick their seat?
Oh, yeah.
And so that is actually a feature request that's already been issued and hopefully will come down the road as well. So that's a really great area. When we'll be able to track to a project, we have a concert in October. If we can track the event tickets to the concert, that would be great.
Yeah, Cara, I think it would go to the purpose. So, like I mentioned when I was building the form, they don't currently load into the donation side and accounting side, but when they do, you'll create a purpose for that project. You can tie that to an income account and fund, and it'll all streamline from there. At this point, it will require manually entering that donation for how much they paid, what part of it is fair market value, so is non-tax deductible, choose your purpose, and then from there it'll automatically post into the accounting. But it is a little bit of manual work right now, but it will be more automated in the future.
And it's coming.
Yeah.
So we know that that's coming. Great question for Melody. What is the cost of this added service? The cost is absolutely nothing.
Free 99.
So that's one of the things we're really excited about. When we added a lot of these features, many of you know that we've given you a bunch of donor management tools. We're not raising your prices. We're giving all that to you. So great question, and we are excited to share that with you. You're welcome, Deborah. We would love to have a field for shirt size and specific info from the attendee. Can we add the fields where that data is being gathered?
Yeah, you can, Deborah. So you would create a custom field. So let me show you. Okay, so on your People tab, you have this option for custom fields. So these are things that are added to a contact that maybe we don't have a field for already. So what you do is here you'd say add t-shirt size. They'd have to fill it in. There's not like a radio button option, so we'll leave it as text. And then if we go back to events, go to the fall fundraiser tickets, something I want to gather on each ticket would be supposed to show here. Let me get back to you on that, Deborah. It's supposed to show here, but it might not because I've already created the event. So let me get back to you on that. I'm 95% positive that's the way to do it.
That is one interesting note, is that once you publish, you cannot go back and edit or add details, I believe. So make sure that you, if you're utilizing this feature, get all your info in there before you go to publish. On the ticket creation, how to add custom? Got that. I'm sorry, I'm repeating the same question. That was an excellent question, by the way. Ooh. Will there be the ability to add additional fields in the collect information? Yes.
Yeah, well, it'll be a custom field.
Yep. Would creating the event be used for volunteer signups for community events as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say yes. I would just call it a free event and name it a volunteer event, volunteer whatever. So again, right now the ticket/registration is interchangeable, but we are hoping to maybe make that a little bit more its own language down the road. What kind of reports do you get per event?
Yeah, right now it's the exporting of attendees or registrations.
And also in List Designer, you can run a list based off of who attended the event. So for example, you could run a list in List Designer of everybody in your system that attended an event and also donated or something like that. Can you walk me through setting up different payment options, such as those who wish to sponsor a table in addition to individual ticket purchases?
Yeah, so if you have somebody who wants to sponsor a table, that's a good question. So essentially, you'd create two different types of tickets. So you could have a ticket that is like a table ticket.
Table sponsor, maybe.
Yeah. So they would purchase one ticket, but let's say your table seats 8, they would be purchasing one ticket for 8 seats. So then you'd put your price of maybe that's $1,000, and they so you would put that amount here, and they would basically not 010. They would basically be purchasing one ticket for a table. So that would be how you would do that for there.
Yeah. Also, we didn't really talk much about this, just to make sure everyone's clear. Because we use WePay for our credit card online payment processing center at Aplos, all of this is set up for WePay. If you want to use a different source, like for example, we have a nonprofit that's using this, but they also use PayPal. So what they've done is they've created another link to purchase tickets at another site through PayPal. So just know that this is all WePay driven for whatever that means for y'all. For events that will happen online, such as a live Facebook event and online auction raffle tickets.
Yeah, Julie, we talked about that before we launched this tool, and a location is required, but I think in the future we'll add the option to say that it's an online event, so then it won't force a location. So you will have to put a location and an address. So you might use your description to just be very clear that this is an online event, no location, something like that.
Yeah. Chris had some technical problems at the front end. We are recording this webinar. This webinar will be sent. If you registered, this will be sent to you.
Yeah.
A recording of this, as well as we'll make it available if you give us a call or email us, and we'll get that to you. The credit card question, we tried to answer that, is WePay. So if you're using PayPal, unfortunately, you can't set up tickets to be purchased through WePay or PayPal at this time. It'll only be through WePay, which is ours. Julio asked, or reoccurring dates for volunteer signups. Reoccurring dates.
Oh, yeah. Right now, if you created an event, we don't have an option to say this event happens the first Tuesday of every month, or this event happens weekly on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You'd have to create those individually, but that's a great suggestion. I'll write it down.
But you can copy an existing one, can't you?
No. Like duplicate it?
Yeah. Can you duplicate?
No, you can't duplicate it. Hold on, we're checking something out real quick.
This is the fun thing about new products, is that we learn a lot as we do them. So
click the actions.
Yeah, go actions.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah, so unfortunately that is not a feature at this time. So great questions. I need to collect postal addresses in addition to email and phone. Is that an option?
Yes.
Yeah, I think on the
well, it had email, address, and phone only. Judith,
can you add that?
I don't think we have the field for full address, but you can create a custom field. To collect it, it won't load though into the address field. So I'll write that down as a suggestion, because I do see how that is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, it's first name, last name, email address, phone that go into the contact in the appropriate fields. If you needed an address, it would have to be a custom field at this point.
Okay. Isabel asked, will it have peer-to-peer fundraising option? Currently, the only thing you can really do is share that URL. So copy that, give it to people, let them share it on their Facebook pages. We do get a lot of questions about peer-to-peer fundraising, the ability for people to promote it for you. So right now, it's just a matter of sharing that URL at this point. Good question. How about for silent auction donations?
We will be adding a separate field to also give a donation. So we've had it before. We've had the question of, if someone can't attend the event but they want to donate, is there an option? Or if they sign up and they also want to give additional money for a donation, is that an option? At this point, it's not, but Dan did mention in the description, including the URL of an online donation page. That's on the short list of something to add to the events page. So it will be coming to also include a donation on top of the ticket price. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. The question is, do donations automatically get placed into your account, or how can you connect your bank account so that they go directly? So again, if you have a WePay account, when somebody buys a ticket, that money is going into your WePay account, which then gets transferred to your bank account.
Yes.
So it's there.
It will require, though, you entering that in the software as a donation and then tracking it to the WePay asset.
Yeah. Is there a way to create a discount code?
No, there's not at this point.
But we'll add that to the feature request list. How would that look on the sign up page, Susie? What did she ask?
Here, can you walk me through?
Payment options, so those who wish to sponsor.
Oh, if it's about the table sponsor, it would look on the sign up page according to the description of the ticket. So it would say like table sponsor as one of the ticket options.
Okay. Import participants, won't this create a bunch of duplicates?
It will look for anyone who already exists in your people tab, and it will either add to existing or create a new if they don't already exist.
Many times this happens if a spouse isn't in there. So if it's like Dan and Jane, we're a contact, and then you just add Dan, that sometimes will create a duplicate, but we have a very easy merge feature in Aplos that can help you with that. The program I currently use enables me to make the page look more like my website, choosing background. Is that coming?
I bet it will. I don't know when, but I bet there will be more flexibility added as we go on. Like we mentioned before, this is our initial launch. So we're getting the tool out there for you to use, and from there we'll keep dialing it in.
Yeah. Also the same events being tracked to a tag. That's going to come.
Once you can track by purpose, then you can put a tag on a purpose and it'll go to a tag.
In the case of nonprofits like ours, where the person who has access to the accounting differs from the person who's running the event, is there any sort of permission levels for access that can be set?
The events tab will be available for anyone who has access to the full software and anyone who has access to the donations or donor management section.
So the donor management manager, I think that's called.
They'll be able to have access to the events section.
Yep. Again, just to reemphasize for Judith, if you missed this, how do the payments work? Do attendees pay online, and does it connect to WePay? Hopefully you heard that by now. Yes, it is all WePay driven. Donors sometimes use different email addresses. How to prevent the software from creating different contacts for the same donor?
Yeah, that's a good question, Philip. A lot of the online is connected to an email address. So if they use a different email address than what's already in the system, it'll create a new contact. But like Dan mentioned, we have a really easy merge feature where you can search by first and last name, and it'll say, show me all Jane Fawcett's in here, and then allow you to merge all of them at one time.
Financial reports available for events.
Those will come when things are linked to accounting, but on the export, you'll be able to see how much people have paid.
Yeah. Do you have a map of multi-channel marketing? Jenny, I do not know what a map of multi-channel. I have some additional information about that, but if you would maybe write back in or let us know a little clarification on that question, that would be great. From the ability to add donation button at the event registration available as of yet?
Not yet. But again, I think, oh, hey, Joel, we've talked on the phone. I think we will add a lot more functionality to where you can add the event to your website, also link a donation button. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be coming in the future.
Yep. Can we post files for purchases to download after making a ticket purchase? For example, a map to the location.
That's a great question, Neil. At this point, what you would do is follow the email campaign idea that Dan had given before. So you'll be able to pull a list of your registrants and email them a map. At this point, when they register, going through that process, there isn't an option to include a map or anything, but the email campaigns feature will let you mass email those people.
The other thing that happens is that when somebody purchases a ticket or signs up as a free registered participant, they will automatically get an email And one of the things we're looking at doing is making that email a little bit more editable, so that you can maybe give them some follow-up information.
Dan, do you want to show them what that email looks like? It's down here in my toolbar. Go all the way down. Right there.
There?
Yep.
So this is what they'll get right here. So as soon as, and again, that happens pretty much right as soon as that purchase is done.
Yep.
They get this right here. But currently it's preset by the software. But what we're going to try to do is make it so you can maybe put a little information, or for a full detailed map, click here. But currently I would say use that email campaign as a way to do that. We include golf shirts for our tournaments. The custom fields can be used to collect shirt size and or color, right?
Yeah, yes. That's right, Robert.
Yeah, and we're going to make sure that that's. We were trying to show you. We didn't see it, but it'll be there. Do you have a credit card swiper that would go with the software?
No, we don't, Melody.
If someone purchases a ticket for a table and they aren't coming, how do you deal with that fair market price? It is a straight donation. Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, typically what you could probably do is just work with that person individually, and the follow-up, send them a different receipt, I guess, saying that.
Yeah, really right now you'd just be manually entering it for what they should be claiming as a donation based on what you put in the NTD spot. So you could always edit that. When it becomes automated, you'll have that in there and you can just edit that NTD amount. So hopefully that answers your question by now.
Yeah. Is there a physical ticket available to purchases?
No, it is just the email receipt they'll get.
Will you be creating a check-in app for events?
Doug, that is something we've talked about for a while. I don't know if we will. It's always in conversation. So maybe one day we'll get to a check-in option, but at this point, I don't think it's on the roadmap.
No. And Kathy, at this time, you cannot currently copy events, but we'll add that to a feature. Thank you for that.
Thanks for the feedback, Julio.
What is the extra fee for WePay, if any? Yeah, so WePay is, there is no fee to use WePay. The fees are the transaction fees, which again, depending on which level of our software you're using. And if you are a registered 501c3, it's typically going to be 2%.
For ACH, 3% for credit card, and 4.1% for American Express.
With 30 cents per transaction.
That's right.
Okay. So excited about this product. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate the feedback. For a donation scholarship, couldn't you add a ticket for donate and or give a scholarship? Yeah,
sure.
I think you could. I think that's a good way to use that. Yeah. So
yeah, if it's a donation, just be sure you don't fill in a fair market value.
Correct. For your consideration as you develop this product, review the features of the Constant Contacts Events module if you haven't already. That's what we currently use, and that has all the features I asked about you today, plus other. Great, and I think that's awesome. Absolutely, no question that we are not trying to duplicate some of the, a Constant Contact or a MailChimp. Those are products that are designed simply to do that. What we intend to do is make a quality product that you all can use for especially for nonprofits that don't have the capacity or sometimes the financial means to add extra third, fourth, fifth piece of software. Yeah. But I agree. I think there are some features that are lacking, and we hope to improve on. But that is great feedback. We get a lot of add-on donations. Is there a time frame for being able to have registrants being able to give add-on donations?
Yeah, Melody, good question. No time frame at this point, but it is on the short list.
Is there a way to use events for a golfer table host who will fundraise with other individuals on behalf of the event? For instance, we have golfers sign up to raise money for their spot to play. Can you create a ticket that gives them credit for the amount they raise through individual donations? It's a really good question, Jay. I know what you mean. So you have like people are they're in a sense donating their spots, and maybe they're serving as table hosts. Jay, we'll talk about that a little bit amongst ourselves, and we have your email here and come back to you with that. Choosing looks. Okay. Choosing that look, such as online form designer, would be great. We agree. We're trying to get there. We have attendees who like to have a physical ticket. Does the receipt look like a ticket? Is it clear on the receipt? I think that receipt they get, they could print that.
Yeah, they can print it and bring it. Um, if it looks like a ticket, I don't know if I'd say it looks like a ticket, but it does show what they registered for and how much they paid.
The other thing you could do is you could probably pretty quickly design a quick ticket, and then send that in an email campaign.
Sure.
Again, at each, let's say you have 4 weeks till the event. Every 3 days, you print out your registrants, and you send them a follow-up email and say, here's a link to your ticket. It is an extra step, I agree, but it is something. Does the donor manager have access to FileBox?
They do not, but they might have access to the images that show. The file box is located in settings, which is only available to an admin user on the software. So if those images don't show up when creating the event, then they'll have to just upload an event or an image.
How easy is it to change permissions for organizations that change elected board members? If you are referring to the users in software, Anthony, you can do that very easily. So I'm not 100% sure I understand the question. So maybe you could clarify that with us, or reach out to us. Just kind of for those of you, you can always email us at support@Aplos, SUPPORT @Aplos. If there's something that we didn't quite get to, and we'll try to follow up with you. Thank you for the feedback, Jackie. Mind map or a guide?
Jenny,
yeah.
I think, sorry, Dan, I think you might be asking for
She's talking about multi-level,
oh,
multi-channel marketing.
Oh, that's right.
Jenny, let me follow up with you on that one personally, which I will do. Thanks. To be clarified, permission levels question. Is there any way for someone to have access to the event details, attendees, without getting into the accounting side of the software?
Yes, Christine. You would just give them the role of a donations manager, so they would not have access to the accounting side.
Yeah. Philip Boyajian, the duplicate event option would be the same event as different locations, so it would be quicker to create multiple events. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, and we'll definitely put that up. Will there be a way to upload event information into an Excel document for event check-in? You could export the registrants, right?
Yeah, you can export those registrants to be able to have like a check-in sheet to see if everybody's come.
And then also in List Designer, you can download a list of all registrants through List Designer and then export those to Excel.
Yeah.
Very excited to use this new feature for our annual fundraiser. Great, Colleen.
Colleen, let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
When you're done, send us feedback. If there's anything that you wished was there, let us know. We definitely want to hear from people how things are going.
I know you guys said this is free. Well, it may be free in the future. Yes, Melody. There's no trick here. We're not going to come back at you in 6 months and say, now you have all these cool features, we're going to start charging you. Just to be clear, for those of you who've been hanging in this for a while, what we've done is we've changed the structure of how we price Aplos from based off a feature set to you're simply being charged how many users and how many contacts you have in your system. That's it. It's no longer about if you use this product or that product. We're no longer piecing it together. You get everything with Aplos.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind to what Dan said about it's priced by contact. That's a good suggestion to keep your contact list clean, because if you jump to the next level of contacts, then that could potentially increase your price. You'll see prices on your subscription page or online. So if you have a Dan Kimball, but Dan and Suzanne sign up, then now you'll have 2 contacts. Just merge those to keep them clean. It's a good idea just to keep an eye on your contact list, clean it up as you go. That way you don't get to the end of things and you jump to the next tier of price, but you have a bunch of random contacts. So just keep an eye on that contact list. Use the mass merge feature. It's a super helpful tool.
Cool. Can we make a ticket with a value that the donor can fill in the amount for an additional donation?
Not at this point. We don't have any customization for like a custom amount for pricing
Yeah,
at this
unfortunately,
point.
no. Will you be publishing the questions as FAQs? We probably could.
Sure. We can even just send them out.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And again, you will also have access to the recording of this. We'll absolutely let you
Oh,
know.
thanks,
Okay,
Colleen.
great. That would appreciate that. And for the rest of you, if you guys start using this, we'd love your feedback. Send us a note, send us a feature request, and we can kind of work on this together. That's exactly what I need to hear in order to use this for our February annual fundraiser. You're welcome. You're welcome. Rosalind, I love the way Aplos listens to the customers. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We do really want you guys to feel like you're part of the, a part of it. I mean, you're help us. What makes us make this happen? So, and it looks like we have one more. Just to clarify, when the event registrants are made into contacts, do they automatically merge if that contact is already there?
No. They, oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, they will automatically go to an existing contact, but if there's any difference in name, if it's a different email address than what's on file, it will create a second contact, which you can merge.
Okay. That's our last question, unless anybody wants to sneak one in. Once again, you can contact us at support@aplos.com. That's probably the easiest way you can, if you want to ask Jane a specific question or me, just say, hey, Jane, or hey, Dan. And again, we will be sending out a recording of this webinar. And we just want to say thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to check this out. We do understand and appreciate that this is brand new and it's not perfect, but we are really excited about this product and the potential it has. And we're adding another tool to your toolbox to hopefully help you become more effective in your fundraising and people gathering efforts.
Yeah, one last thing before you go. We have a support center link here. I've written up an article that walks you step by step through exactly what we went through today. So if you need a little bit of refresher on how to create that event, just go into our support center right here, type in event registration, and it'll give you that link for the article. So we'll also load this webinar on that article as soon as our recording's live, and yeah, you'll be on your way to hosting events like nobody's business.
Awesome. So with that, we want to wish you all a great day and give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.